And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sling'N List. I'm TJ.
And I'm Kent.
And guys, frankly, it's just us tonight. Don't think this will be too long of a conversation. Here, Kent, what's...
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on Sling'N Podcast. I'm going to be one of your hosts, Frank Horvath.
And I'm Tim Kelly.
We decided we want to do something a little bit different tonight. The Sling'N Podcast with Kent and TJ. We decided we just wanted to, what do you say? Take it over. Yeah, we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. Tim, I think we really wanted to, let Kent know how much we really appreciated him as far as his class and everything they did for us about a month ago. So we figured, well, hell, why don't we just go ahead and take over their own podcast and do our own thing, add our own little spice to
Absolutely. Why not? I mean, why have Kent here anyway?
Yeah, right. And it's just, extra weight.
This isn't about
It's
him.
no problem. Yeah, it's not about him. Yeah, who needs him on here? Anywho, so we'll go ahead and kick this off. I think we have an awesome show, awesome little lineup that's set up for everybody. Got some of our guys lined up kind of last minute. We called them and said, hey, let's get on here and talk. So we'll have some guys cutting in and out as far as Skype and things like that. We'll have a little chit chat with Joel Trey maybe here in a little bit, and we'll have a good time.
Awesome.
But before we get to that, Tim, how have you been, man? How's everything going?
I've been good, man. I just had a recent spill of a little bit of a sickness. You might hear me cough here once in a while, but other than that, man, I'm back up to normal. I'm 110, 20. Okay, maybe not yet.
With
but
your
I'm
smoker's
getting
lung,
there.
it sounds like. Sounds like you're losing a lung every time.
I'm getting there, man. I'm super excited to be on the show tonight. I know that, but yeah, I've been good. How have you been, sir?
Good. Busy. Work has had me absolutely slammed. I've been everywhere but where I need to be and nowhere I want to be. So it's kind of a mix of both. So, we'll see how everything goes. Man, I tell you what, getting all this set up in such a short time has been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we had 30 minutes or something like that?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it was very, very, very quick, very kind of thrown together. If you see the ratsness of wires that's around this place, it's a little ridiculous. A quick shout out to our man behind the camera. Let's see, Joel Trey. There we go. Hey, this professional setup we have here. So he's going to be helping us out. And let's not forget the star of the show tonight. Steve! What are you doing over there, Steve?
Shut up, Steve.
Come on, Steve. Where's he at? Where's Steve at? There he is. Yeah, there's Steve. Oh, man, look at that swag he's wearing. Yeah, Sling'N Podcast. Man, if only you guys could get a shirt like that. We'll see how that all turns out. All right. Well, fantastic. So, like I said, our focus tonight is really going to be an AAR of Kent's defensive pistol metrics. Fantastic course. I don't want this to turn into we love Kent, but we'll be honest. We'll let everyone else speak, but it was a fantastic course.
He most certainly earned this hijack.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, him and TJ both.
Man. Yeah.
So I guess just kick it off. I think we got Bobby Price is going to be joining us here in a little bit, and hopefully, luckily, everything's going to work out just fine. Again, last minute type stuff. Let's talk with Trey a little bit. Trey, Joel, what did you think about Kent's class, defensive pistol metrics?
So of course, wait a minute, let me unmute me.
Come on, Trey, Joel.
Sorry.
Trey.
I was tossed to the freaking wolves on this.
Come on, Joel Trey.
This is the first time I've ever used this software.
There you go.
So, I thought it was a pretty fun class. Any class that Kent teach has always been pretty good. I was running the camera for most of it. I wasn't really taking the class, but I absorbed a lot as I overheard things. So, what do you want from me? The biggest takeaways, favorites?
Yeah, man. Biggest takeaways. What's something that really stuck out in the class?
So, one of the best things that I saw that could be applicable for Apache, I think, was practice score. How he could set up these drills and courses of fire and have so much data logged with each of your students. Like, and I even watched some one-on-ones he did before the class, and he would like come back and debrief with those students because he had all that data logged through practice score. So that was really cool and fun to watch. I also liked his emphasis on abandoned bad reps. Like, he hit that home a lot, and I'm bad about powering through bad reps, and so that phrase is stuck in my head, like abandoned bad reps when something goes wrong. And the highlight always is the end of class, like drills he has, like the welcome to Walmart, and I don't know what he called this one. What did he call this one?
Sounds like we have our first caller. Let's get him on here.
Okay. There's no one screen, sir. I got his audio, I don't got him. Never mind.
There we go, Joel Trey. Come on.
I'm figuring it out. Hold on. Now he's live.
There he is.
This is a first-rate production here. We'll work out the kinks here shortly. We got. All right, Bobby, can you hear us?
What's up, fellas?
Hey,
What's
man.
happening, man?
How's everybody doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I can hear you. It's just a little echoey.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Mute your mic tray, Joel.
He's got it. He just got off. Hey, man. So, like I said, really wanted to bring you on and talk with us a little bit. Kind of, pick your brain on how you thought Kent's defensive pistol metrics class. So, first, we'll get back to Joel Trey. We got him all night, so we'll harass him a little bit later. But man, tell me something that you really enjoyed about the class. Maybe tell me something that Kent might be able to do better. If anything, I know that's going to be a little bit of a stretch, but what was your perspective on the class?
The class overall, to me, I mean, it was it put a lot of things into perspective from my standpoint, because I mean, everybody that's has their concealed carry, they really don't think about the consequences that come with it if you have to actually use it. So the consequences drill that we done really hit home for me. So as you all know, there Sunday when we wrapped up, but overall, Kent, for the weather and stuff that we were having at the time, I mean, he did an amazing job. Kept the flow going smoothly. As far as anything that he could do better, that's like you said, that's a stretch. I mean, Kent was pretty spot on the entire weekend. So
yeah, he really was, man. Him and
Justin.
Justin just absolutely killed it. And I mean, they slaved away for us and with a smile on their face the entire time. And like you said, the consequences thing, man, I just knew you were going to say that.
Oh yeah.
Because it really did. There was a very pronounced way. He had a very pronounced way of just constantly reminding you of you have a serious responsibility here, and you must be able to perform. Period. And I know that really hit home with you. And yeah, man, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even here, I mean, that was probably one of the biggest things that stuck out with me was the consequences. I mean, that was such a nail-driven home. I mean, it was just absolutely perfect the way that they put it, and the way that Justin. I don't know if it was planned or not, but Justin would pull you aside and go, "So what's their name?"
Oh,
and I mean,
yeah.
that was just that extra little punch in the gut that I didn't want, but I needed. Yeah. I mean, it was a good class. So you went through, told us about some of the good things. Man, you gunset guys, you brought down a crew. Who all did you guys bring down?
it was Scott, myself, Jamie, Rob, and also Sean.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good group. Y'all came down from Ohio and came and rocked out with us. Awesome group of shooters. I mean, just phenomenal group of shooters. I mean, the whole lot of you guys, and I think you may have been one of the most improved or something like that. I mean, you guys you did fantastic from the very beginning to the very end. So, kudos to you. Again, while we got you on here, what anything that we could do better as hosts, anything that we could do better, for next time for you guys coming down here. Again, we got to make this a little bit about ourselves. I mean, this is Sling'N Lead podcast, but not for tonight.
So the only thing that I would say as far as any accommodations is you might have a secondary bathroom. That way there's no fighting amongst the gun set guys.
all right. We'll figure that out. But that bucket in the backyard. I mean, that tends to work out best for us. So I mean, next time, use a tree line or something. We'll figure that out. We'll take that into account.
Yeah, it was just funny because the days were hot and stuff, and then obviously when we were trying to gather our stuff and get ready to head home there Sunday evening, Jamie was kind of tying up the bathroom and kind of irritating some people. So he was just trying to get cleaned up himself, and some people weren't taking it too well. But all in all, it was an amazing time. And as far as host, you guys were amazing. And again, it's just couldn't have asked for a better group of guys to host it. And then Tim, your wife, cooking and for everybody, that was just, you don't see that anymore, especially in today's times. But it was much appreciated, and thank you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We loved having you guys down. So I guess we need to make sure we tell Jamie not to hog the powder room.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he doesn't need to smell like roses all the time. Man, that is
he is one good looking.
No
dude.
homo. That is a good looking dude. I mean,
He is.
he those shirts, the way that they fill out on me, man, that makes me and my dad bod a little bit jealous. Not gonna lie. Awesome. Well, Bobby, we're not going to keep you. We got a bunch of other guys that are going to be getting in here soon, so we really appreciate you. Thanks for taking the time to stop in and talk with us. And man, we hope to train with you soon, and we'll be seeing you soon.
All right, fellas, have a good evening and take care.
Take care, man. Cheers.
Have a good one. Cheers.
Bye.
Man, awesome. That was cool. Being able to talk with Jamie or excuse me, Bobby. Being able to talk with Bobby and all that. And like I said, we got other guys that are going to be poking in here and talking with us a little bit. Cool. Going back to what Trey said about practice score, that was something that being able to go through and like look at those metrics and kind of see what he had and actually have like hardcore metrics to your training was just phenomenal. Like it really.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little skeptical at first.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like not necessarily when he actually taught us practice score and that sort of thing, and how it's actually practical for what we do when we're teaching classes and so on and so forth. But I mean, all day you see Kent Howard walking around with this massive laptop. What's the largest iPad you can walk around with? Because he's walking around with like this 16 by 18 tablet. And he's writing stuff down all day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man, you can't be serious. What are you doing? All the information he had by the end of the class on individual students, you're like, okay, all right, that's money. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess I need to get a giant tablet.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty baller. I mean, he was able to go through and, him and Justin both were religiously kind of going back and forth on that tablet and working on the tablet and writing down, metrics and numbers and stuff like that, really trying to keep, everything together. And I'll be honest, I'm not built that way. Yeah. So, I mean, it would be very difficult for me to follow in his footsteps per se. I mean, he's definitely he has got a unique way of being able to, gather that information, retain that information, keep everything straight. Like it, again, I don't want to sound like we're hyping him up all night, but I can't talk enough about the class. I mean, it was really well. Things flowed very well from one topic to another. I don't feel like the classes or the exercises and stuff like that we did. I don't feel like the shooting strings. I don't feel like they were wasteful. We could maybe trim back on some areas of the class, but man, overall, like I said, I really feel like it was a well structured, well put to class. You can tell he definitely put a lot of time and thought and energy into it.
I know there's a lot of people. I mean, Tom Givens probably was one of the first ones that really captured my attention in regards to collecting student data.
Right.
And I mean, and that guy walks around with, you know, a pad and paper, and
Right.
he collects a ton of individual information on all of the students in his classes. And I was just really surprised, because I really didn't know what he was doing the whole time walking around with his tablet. I was just really surprised with the amount of data he actually collected on the individual students. And I think that's something that's lacking in the training community. You don't get a whole lot of that. I've been trying to get better at doing that as well.
I think we have Mr. Scott joining us. Let's get him on up here.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Scotty, how are you?
OH?
I baby.
Oh man, how are you, man?
Life is good. Life is good. You guys doing all right?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Obviously, we're kicking back a little bit. We're enjoying ourselves, maybe a little bit. It's taking over Kent and TJ's podcast, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah, I thought TJ, is he in there anywhere? I don't even see him.
I think I saw him. He was fuming in the chat a little bit. I think Kent's floating around in there somewhere too. So you know, they'll we may see them later. We may not. Who knows? It depends.
The only reason I came by was to see TJ, so it's really disappointing.
Well, you know, maybe later. If you stick to the end, maybe you'll catch a glimpse of him again.
All right.
So we'll see. We'll see what we can work up. So hey man, again, really appreciate you stopping by. You know, kind of want to pose the same question. You know, what are your overall thoughts, feels? How do you think Kent's defensive pistol mate? Yeah, defensive words. How do you think the class went? And you know, what do you think Kent could have done better? What do you think he could? You know, what really hit home with you? What you know, just give some feedback.
Well, man, I'll tell you, how long was this class? Was this a month ago?
Yeah,
now,
about a
at
month
this
ago.
point?
Yeah, yep.
So, you know, I've had a lot of time to percolate on that class, and I think that's maybe the biggest thing that I took away was that I've spent the last month thinking about this class. I mean, you just really had a whole lot to chew on when it was all said and done. You know, coming in to this class, I was super excited because of the environment. It was really exciting to get down to North Carolina and to finally get to see the Apache range. And you guys have an awesome facility there. Really proud of you guys and really impressed with what you guys have done there. And obviously just really pumped to shoot with a good group of shooters. And I really didn't know what to expect from this class because I don't have any sort of competition background. You know, I'm kind of a training junkie. You know, I just am obsessed with training, whether it's on my own, you know, or seeking out other instructors and stuff. But almost all of the training that I've been through has been tactical. Well, not tactical, but combative, you know, pistol application. So that's really been the focus of my training over the last decade. And so I honestly just kind of went in with, at least I tried to go in with an open mind and just see what I could learn because I knew Kent had a little bit something different to offer. And I got to tell you, I was just kind of blown away because there's so many things that are just common sense that we use every day to get better at different things that I think it is maybe a piece that I've been missing, and that's just data collection, right? Being able to actually drill down, you know, even just the simple stuff. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been through a class where we worked on draw stroke or that I've personally taught draw stroke, but to break it down and, you know, to different hundreds of seconds, the different combinations, and putting it together to create, you know, a draw stroke that is at a target goal, you know, sub 1 second or whatever.
Right.
You know, that was really awesome. And like I said, I felt like an idiot. I'm like, man, this is a piece that I've been missing, and it just seems so obvious. The way that Kent approached this topic and this subject, I mean, he was super professional, and it felt so well thought out, and you could just tell that he really poured a lot into every single thing that we did throughout the entire weekend. So, I've been to some classes where I felt like maybe some stuff has been phoned in before, and I was really grateful that that was not the experience, especially since I was bringing, the team down, and I really wanted it to be an awesome experience for those guys too. And I mean, just not disappointed at all. Absolutely, really, really pleased. Money well spent. I thought it was really fantastic training. There were some things that, like I said, I've been chewing on for the last month. Some things that, I don't want to say I'm not necessarily convinced of or anything like that, because it's not that I disagree with anything necessarily. But I think that's, like I said, the definition of a successful class is that it makes you, when you leave, you're like, man, I gotta unpack this stuff. I gotta chew on it. I got a good bone here. I'm gonna gnaw on this thing for a while. And so I'm still kind of processing through some of that stuff and seeing how I can make some of the things fit into my personal training regimen and into our curriculum with our students. So.
Yeah. That's, something that Tim and I were just talking about was, the use of those metrics and, how that's something that we should seriously consider. Like, we've done small things, not so much for the students, but more for us. Like, something that we've done in the past, especially with our EDC courses, we'd go through and we would record some times, but it was more for, but that information got back to the student, but it was more to see our trends, to see, are we accomplishing the job that we want to accomplish as instructors? And by analyzing, the gear that the student has, what their the very cold first drill of the day, what their times were, and then at the very last drill of the weekend, what those times were, and then kind of getting a gauge. But that was more for us. That was more. Again, we shared that information with the student. We gave out awards based off of that. But it was more, instructor driven, more instructor focused, see how we were doing, that kind of gauge. Now, you had alluded to, a couple of things that you were chewing on. What things were kind of, I don't know, that's something I got to analyze, something I got to look at, something I got to think on a little bit more. What were some of those things, if you can recall any?
Well, one of the things that I have probably come in with a little bit of bias against competition shooting, and I think it was actually alluded to on one of the Facebook groups this week that we're members of, but there sometimes can be a perception, and it kind of depends on which sense or which side of the fence you're on as far as the value of competition shooting. Some people are at one end of the extreme, some people are at the other end of the extreme, and there's obviously a lot of people that we love and respect that are extremely competent defensive pistol instructors who also are very successful in the competition world, and they've kind of bridged that. And so that's been something that, like I said, I don't have a background in competition. I don't shoot competition. I'd like to. I just haven't, been able to work that out between my 6 jobs that I have. And so, to kind of come in and see a guy who shoots competition regularly and how he kind of layers those things was kind of different for me. One of the things that like that welcome to Walmart drill, before we ran through it, I guess I didn't really understand, because again, this is all kind of new to me. The way to win that, to be successful in that drill, is to haul ass and abandon all tactics and jump around corners and things like that, and just, place your shots as quickly, as fast as possible, and have the best time with the best accuracy and things like that. And, immediately the first thing I was thinking of, I was kind of paralyzed between, am I in a shoot house? Is this a, type of scenario where I have to worry about getting shot too, and so balancing that. And since that was kind of my first thing, I kind of wish we had maybe a little bit more discussion on that. Just kind of maybe unpacking that, because I do think there's a tremendous value in doing a drill like that, and just understanding the difference between those two different types of trainings. And And so, but like I said, that's just something I've been chewing on and trying to figure out, where do I land on that side of the fence? And I'm certainly, he pulled me pretty far, in one direction. And I've had a couple guys, a couple of the Gunset guys have been kind of beating me up about, hey, let's jump into a USPSA match that's coming up this weekend, and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely think it opened my eyes to some stuff that I definitely was outside my comfort zone, maybe, or maybe outside of what I'm familiar with. And the other thing with competition shooting is, I feel like I'm a pretty proficient shooter. Then you get into competition shooting, you can't fake it. You either do well or you don't, and so just trying to figure out what is success in that for me, and so. But I'll tell you, there was a couple things that I did want to talk about, just from a instructor to instructor perspective. Talking to Kent, there was two things that I took away from this class that I just loved. I was just obsessed with. One was his infectious enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kent, absolutely, it was hot. We're from Ohio. It's it's moderate up here. And down there, man, it was oppressive. And man, there's sometimes where we were struggling, and man, his enthusiasm and his energy never wavered. I don't know where that guy. He's got a deep tank, because he just kept on going, and it was just so cool when one of the students was successful. Nobody was cheering for you louder than Kent.
That's right.
It was awesome. And kind of going hand in hand with that, his AI was just perfect, in sync with him. So you had Kent, who was just had it cranked up to 11. You had Justin, who was just making sure that everything was getting done behind the scenes, that the next stage was getting set up, that, it was a really good team. So just the professionalism and the environment that they created was very infectious, and it was very fun, and it was very positive. And man, we had some students who really took some big steps in that class, and everybody was cheering them on and stuff. And I think that all starts at the top with the example that he set. The other thing was, and I think Bobby kind of alluded to it, was the serious nature of some of the stuff, where we really put it in context. And man, I remember at one point I was shooting with Rodney, and we both had shot a no-shoot target, and we had to put, in our heads, our names, and we'd both put the names of our children on those no-shoot targets. And me and Rodney, man, we both teared up and got choked up, and had to have a moment where we realized, okay, this is why we're here. We're here to have fun. We're here. We're having a good time. But ultimately, this is what the stakes are.
Right.
And so, anyway, I loved it. I loved the class. I loved the experience. I loved the facilities. Just thought it was really, really solid, really well done, really well thought out, and definitely would recommend it.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Hey, so we'll be winding this down here in a little bit as far as our time with you. We have some more people that are going to want to hop on here. So, tell us a little bit about Gunset while we have you on here, because who would be better than to talk about Gunset than the man himself? For everyone playing the home game out there, where can they find you? Where can they find other information? Where are you guys located? Things like that.
Sure. So Gunset Training Group is a group of instructors who are just live, eat, and breathe this stuff. That we see this as a calling, a mission to do everything we can to prepare our students for potentially the worst day ever, and to help them be victorious. And in both skill set and mindset. That's Gunset. So we want to invite you to check us out at traingunset.com. Connect with us on social media, Gunset Official on Instagram, and Gunset Training Group on Facebook. We will be in North Carolina for our tactical rifle class. We're bringing Mike Kinsey, who's our rifle instructor. Yeah. And he is a very, very talented, very gifted instructor. We're very blessed to have him, and really excited to be down there. I think that is November
13th and 14th.
13th and 14th. Yeah, it's my birthday weekend, so I'll be celebrating with you guys down there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, giddy up.
Yeah. So.
We'll have to plan something big for that weekend.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out there. We'll stay in tune, stay in touch.
All right.
Awesome. Well, Scotty, again, we won't take up much of your time. We really appreciate you coming on here and talking with us, hanging out with us for just a little bit. Again, wish you could spend some more time with us. We got some more students that are that took the class that are going to be right behind you. So for now, we appreciate it. Thanks, man, and we'll catch you another time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Have a
See
good
you.
night.
You do the same. Man, Scotty definitely hit the nail on the head as far as the just Kent's infectiousness. As
Right.
far as like he was your biggest cheerleader on the line and really going at it. For me, that was both an accolade and a criticism.
Right.
I feel like there were at times he took it too far as he needs to watch out for himself and his AI too.
Right.
Like, there were times when he was up there and it was hot. It was hot.
Yeah.
It's North Carolina can be humid sometimes, and it can feel just absolutely ridiculous.
You can only drink so much water, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I mean, you could tell, man. He was even though he was wearing a black shirt, you could tell he was hot.
Yeah,
So
Poured
being
his
able
heart and
to
soul into it for sure.
being able to stop and hydrate a little bit, or he did a good job of walking his Justin, but we'll go from there. And it sounds like we have somebody else. Let's see who we have on here. Huh?
Scotty.
Oh, okay. Get rid of him.
Scotty,
It's like, come on, Scotty, you're
Get
ruining
out of
it.
here.
Get out of here, Scotty.
You're done talking.
No more.
So, what I was going to say is, Scotty mentioned something about riding that fence. You're on one side of the fence or the other. You're on the competition side of the fence, or you're on the defensive style side of the fence. And I thought that's what the whole point of this class was, to get rid of the fence,
Right.
and start encouraging people to start thinking for themselves. And honestly, there needs to be more of that. I honestly ran across John Holshin had posted up a Facebook post regarding. It was actually a pretty heated discussion in the comment section about the difference between competition and defensive pistol shooting and that sort of thing. Is Scotty continuing to interrupt me? Tell him don't ever do that again.
All right. No, I think that's we have a new person. We have somebody else that's coming on.
Okay,
with
let's do
us.
it.
All right, let's see here who we have. It should be the one and only Josh. Come on, Josh, get your stuff together.
Am I not on?
No, we can't see your video. We can hear you though.
Look at this
There
beautiful
you
face.
go.
There we
got
go.
you. Hey, buddy, how
Technology.
Yeah.
are you? Well, man, it's Josh Cook, one of Apache's own, that was able to come and make the class. So, Josh, thank you for coming. We really appreciate you making an appearance here and talking with us. So, just like before, I don't know if you were able to catch any of the show, but we just wanted to share with you, or want you to share with us, just high points of the class. What did you like? What didn't you like? What's something that really made you think? Just kind of give us the 1,000-foot view of how you thought the class went.
Well, it's a good thing I took notes. So.
Yeah, no joke, right? Yeah, look at him getting his composition notebook out.
So, what is tracked is improved upon. So that was the first thing I wrote down, and that's when I actually started to write notes. And Kent really practiced what he preached on that. With his iPad and all the data and the personal email that he gave to us, it was just cram-packed full of info. And that's something that I've undertook since taking that course, is actually starting to record and log some of my own data.
Awesome.
And trying to preach that as well, because I really resonated with me, at least personally. What's some other things here? Abandoning bad reps.
Yeah.
That's something that we just seen Trey Joel do in a Cold Drill Friday. So I think stuff like that really resonates with people, whether people you realize it or not. The things you say up there when you're teaching, it really comes through, and I really took a lot away from that. I've been trying to work on doing that myself. Before, I would always want to do better and power through it and get those shots, get those hits, and that's ultimately that's the reason that we're there, is to train and to screw up on the range.
Right.
Aside from out in real life.
Man, and that's something that, for me, that's always been a struggle for me, because, it's one of the things where I just want to power through it, you know what I mean? Even though it's not necessarily the best idea to do. So that's definitely, you hit the nail on the head with that. That's something that I've taken to heart, something that I've really been mulling over and working on too. So, yeah, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. What else do we have here? What else do we have here? I have so much. Okay, a dead trigger tells you more than a live trigger.
Yeah.
I had never heard of that in my life. So I actually went out and tried it, and I'll be daggone, my front sight post was moving a lot more than I thought it was when I was actually doing my transitions, and realizing that I was shanking shots that I didn't think I was shanking. So I thought that was very interesting, and something I've implemented into some of my training.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let me ask you this. What we obviously have, all kinds of awesome things to say about Kent and Justin, but we want to hear the nitty gritty too. Like, do you have any constructive criticisms, anything that you feel like he could do better next time?
Yeah, he needs to take care of himself, man. Jesus, I got tired just watching this man run around. I mean, he's wide open, and kudos to you, Kent. But yeah, man, take some time for yourself, take a break, and teaching a course is great, but you got to be able to teach that next course.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as flow of the class, I think everything went well. Day 1 was a scorcher, so it was quite hot. Day 2 slowed down a little bit. I feel like there might have been a few things that could have been brought over from day 1, perhaps, or a little bit faster of a pace on day 2.
Okay.
But honestly, after day 1 and how hot it was and how brutal, I think it was welcomed, from myself included. The heat kind of got to me on day 1, and I had to sit down for a bit and rest.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it definitely. I mean, that was part of the reason on day 1. Man, I had to step back for one of the drills just before lunch. I was just doing too much, so I had to stop partway through one of the drills just before we had cut out for lunch, and I just had to go back and take a seat. Like it was hot.
There was a couple of guys that had to. And you got to keep an eye out for that type of thing, man. And these courses, especially in North Carolina, when you're teaching in August, you've got to account for heat casualties and that sort of thing. Which that's not something we experienced, but there were definitely some people that had it rough. Had it rough there on TD1, but we had a vehicle out there that had AC on it. We had plenty of water. We had plenty of electrolytes and that sort of thing, and had all of those things put in place to prepare us for it. So everybody did okay.
Well, and that really goes back to a testament of, again, something else that Kent just absolutely hit the nail on the head, was make sure that we had a plan for everything.
Right.
So, as hosts, that was our responsibility. It was our responsibility to make sure that was taken care of. And Zach did a fantastic job as Med 1, and Sean did a great job as Med 2. So really being able to pick up and keep an eye on everybody, make sure that the range was safe, make sure that the angles weren't weird or anything like that. Kent and Justin did a fantastic job of really keeping an eye out for that kind of stuff, and it really can't be understated. If you go out and you train with somebody and they don't have a solid med plan, leave.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not worth the risk.
No, not at all.
What we do out there
not.
is it's a really risky game, man, and you got to you definitely have to account for stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Josh, what's the one thing that you can think of that's going to make you remember this course moving forward?
There's so many. It's probably going to be most of everybody else's. No shoots have names.
Yeah.
Everybody jokes about shooting a no shoot, or a lot of people do, and that's something that shouldn't be joked about, especially when you're training in self defense.
It ain't happening in that class. That's for sure.
No, absolutely not. So.
Awesome. Well, sorry, I was responding to the plethora of requests in here. So, Josh, before we let you go, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Man, chat is absolutely blowing up. People want to see the mullet. So let's what you got underneath that hat? Let's come on, let's give us a little peek-see there.
We got a little peek-see, all right.
Come on, yeah. Oh, buddy, look at that. It's starting to come in a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Can't give you too much action. Can't get you too much action.
So I kid
again.
you not, man. So I went to the barber earlier today to get my bushwhacked and get my ears lowered a little bit. There was a guy there who had a sweet mullet, right? But he did a skin fade up on the side. So I mean, it was just absolutely gorgeous. So that's in your future, man. You got to do it. Got to.
I think maybe like a little number 3 on the side.
You guys just couldn't have stopped at Pit Viper. I would have been much happier if you just stopped at Pit Viper.
No. We're so eventually. It may not be soon, but eventually we're gonna get Tim and some Pit Vipers.
No,
it's gonna happen.
You guys are a bunch of.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Joel Trey, what do you think? What do you think? You think it's gonna happen?
Oh, it's definitely gonna happen. His kids are already wearing them. Every time I go to his house, his kids steal my Pit Vipers and put them on. So it's coming today, probably sooner rather than later.
That's great. I love it. Hey, thank you, Josh. We really appreciate you coming, man. Again, we got some more people that are going to be coming up soon, so don't want to keep you too long, but we really appreciate you taking the time, coming out and talking with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,
yeah,
Josh.
absolutely, guys. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Good, man.
Man, I tell you what, talking about these Pit Vipers, what do you say? So, right now.
We're not throwing in a plug for Pit Viper.
Well, I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's a live show, so... How many views do we need to get on this podcast right here?
Oh my gosh.
Or how many Instagram likes do we need to get you in some Pit Vipers?
No.
Come on, it's gonna happen. Come
No.
on. We gotta figure it out.
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
Now. Trey, what do you think? What do you think?
No. It's against my religion.
I think if we can get to 1,000,
1,000? 1,000's a good number. What do you say? 1,000? I think 1,000. I think 1,000's good. All right, so let's check in on Steve. How's Steve doing over there? Steve, what are you looking at? What are you doing? And he's doing nothing. Shut up, Steve. All right, cool.
Steve.
Awesome. So again, I mean, just fantastic course. I mean, I'm sure you're going to hear more about it here in a little bit. I do got a criticism for Justin though. So again, overall, Justin as AI just absolutely killed it. You know, he was right behind. He's that same infectious running around just like Kent was. You know, the little extra things that Justin would add. So you know, if you hit a no shoot or something like that, he would come up to you and not creepily, but he'd be like, "What's their name?" Like it was that gentle reminder of, you know, hey man, these things have consequences, and really helping reinforce that and really push that through was, you know, that was pretty awesome. That was nice to see how in sync they were on that, you know, and working through that.
Right. As I was saying before, like the whole point of this class was to kind of bring together the defensive pistol shooting community and the competition shooting community and try to help folks understand that not everything is going to match up. Right. But there's a lot that you can take away from that, so long as you just respect it for what it is.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I think the the no shoots and that sort of thing was a great way to demonstrate that. You know, when you're running through a competition and you're going for speed, you know, shooting a no shoot is. You look at that and say, "Man, I'm down points. That sucks." In this class, you view it differently.
Right.
You do view it from that defensive mindset of, you know, this is a no shoot, and they have names. If I were to have done this in real life, I could have potentially killed someone or had an unintentional hit. Right. Right. And I think that's really important. So, and Scotty mentioned something earlier also about the welcome to Walmart, and I don't want to try and give away that
secret sauce.
Yeah, that stuff. But at the end of it, he said something along the lines of, I was confused with, is it, the fastest guy, or is it the guy that went through it, and it was the most tactically or practically efficient? Right. I think that's, the more time I've had to think about that, I think that's the beauty of it. That's the whole point.
Right.
Is at the end of it, you say, damn, I didn't win. Well, you're looking at it from the competition mindset.
Right.
Because if you approach it from a more practical mindset and say, damn, I won. I don't have any holes in me. Yeah. And I didn't shoot any no-shoots.
Right.
And so, yeah, I came out on top. You don't have to earn that top shot award at the end of the class.
Yeah, for sure.
To walk out of that thing and say, I made the right calls. I feel good about myself here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really hard to really separate that. And I'm not just talking about Kent's class, but just in general. So, like, of course, we all want to be top shot. Like, we want to be that guy, right? But, stop comparing yourself to your neighbor, or stop comparing yourself to that top shot guy, and really just focus on you and what made sense to you, what made sense to you in the moment. I mean, that's worth more than anything. Like, Absolutely. Really being able to stop and analyze yourself and analyze, like, what's going on and how you process the information. It's easy to stop and hindsight's always 20/20. It's easy for you to go, man, I should have done that differently. Well, thank God we're in a training environment to where we can do it differently next time.
Yeah.
So God forbid we ever got into an incident where we had to use some of these skills, or we had to use, some of these, these mechanics. We've already gone through the thought experiment. We've already gone through maybe some sort of scenario or something that could help better prepare us for what potentially could happen. Sure. I'm not necessarily, and that applies to both, like the competition side, the game side, versus, the practical side of, self-defense. Like that really gets married hand in hand. And I think that's something that Kent really did well in the class, was to be able to marriage those two. So, if you were real, competition, sports focused, shooting sports focused, then that class was for you. Right. But if you were defensive, had that more defensive pistol mindset, that class was for you. Yeah. Like, it married perfectly.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I was like being forced into a little mold that said, hey, you need to fit this box and this metric, right, and go from there. All right, it sounds like we got somebody else. Let's see.
Josh Cook.
No? Oh, Josh Cook. Man, Josh, don't ever do that again.
What is happening?
Gosh, man.
What'd you say, Steve?
What'd Steve say? What's Steve? Steve? What's Steve at? That wasn't live. You wasted a water bottle. Anywho, that'll have to happen again.
Calling again.
Who's that?
I'm gonna need you to get your stuff together.
All right, there we go. We'll have to fix that. Let's see who we got next. Let's see. Mr. Sean, man, how are you? Another gun set guy.
God, I love that mustache.
Yeah, I love that mustache, buddy.
Beautiful.
It is,
Hey.
that is righteous. That is awesome.
I've got that just for you too, bud.
Man, how are you? How are things going in your neck of the woods? Let's catch us up a little bit.
Oh, Jesus. Doing all right. Everything's, sorry for my thumb in your face.
You're good.
Doing all right. Hanging in there at least. Things are going well. I actually did my first standalone CCW class with the gun set.
All right, dude.
Went fairly well. Yeah. It's Scott only had a page and a half of negative notes, so I called it a win.
Right.
So,
yeah, man.
But
you have to get those criticisms back again. That's kind of what the point of this was, to get some of those criticisms back to, make the next class even better and to really
Oh,
do
yeah.
more. So don't mind Tim.
Yeah.
Like, he's still doing the whole coughing bit. So thankfully he walked
Yeah, it's
outside to go
all right.
do that. So we didn't hear him lose a lung, because that would have been ridiculous to hear on air. But anyway.
It would have just been another day at work.
So, man, outside of that, same kind of thing, same kind of format. What did you like? What was something that really stuck out to you in this class? What what were your highlights? And then, give us some criticism. What's something that Kent and Justin could have done better? What's something that they could have worked on, moving forward?
Oh Jesus. I caught a couple. I caught the end of Bob's, Scott's, and Josh's, and
Awesome.
kind of echoing what they were saying. especially Scott, there was just an absolute metric crap ton of stuff that we took. And it does take a while to unpack everything. A couple of things that I took away was with this class, we actually took it with mostly instructors, and it was interesting because I think you had three or four people that weren't instructors that were just very high students from you guys that you had invited. Yep. Everybody had something to pass on, and Josh had his little book, so I've got
there we go. Yeah,
I got my notes out here. One of the very first drills, Josh got in there, and he was the inspiration for starting this stuff. Was I had screwed up on something that I just didn't like. Apparently I'm Zach,
right?
Because everything has to be perfect, right. And if I screw that one thing up, it's like, man, I could have shaved a half a second here, that type of thing. And I had screwed up, shook my head, and he's like, "What the hell are you shaking your head for, man? That's what we're here for."
Right. For sure.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that kind of opened my eyes, and I started to think about it and calm down a little bit. And when I did, the biggest takeaways were every no shoot has a name, and unfortunately, my kids and my wife took one for the team there for a little bit, and
right.
until it started to sink in, like, you can go a half second slower and make a better sight picture. You're trying to push speed too much, type of thing.
Right.
And the other thing is maintain your equipment. Like everybody was saying, it was hot. It was hot. I'm just gonna keep it PG. But it was very, very hot down there. And when you're running hot guns with lots of rounds, Loctite loosens up. And if you don't use enough, it loosens up quickly.
Right.
And I started throwing shots on the consequences drill warm up, and I'm just sitting there. I got my head cocked. I'm like, I have no idea what the heck's going on. And Justin, man, he's that little freaking ninja. He'll sneak up on you, and he just sits there and he looks at me. And he's like, "Talk to me. What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I have no idea," And I ran through the whole thing with him, and he just kind of looks at me a little bit and looks down at my equipment, and he goes, "Is your sights backing out, or your screws backing out of your sight?" I looked down, like, well, sure as shit, there they were. And it's like, I never thought of that. I thought I had to be screwing something up. So it was like, the little instructor pearls that I would catch from him and Ken. And that one was one of them. It's like, maybe it's not the student. Could very well be the equipment.
Right.
And they may be doing everything perfectly, but maybe something else is moving. Like sights are walking, front sights loose, screws are coming off of RMR stuff.
So something that we've run into on the range is exactly that. Like, we'll have a student go, "Man, it's my gun, it's my gun, it's my gun." Sometimes it is the gun. So something that we'll do, of course, with the student's permission, is take their firearm, safe, controlled manner and all. Again, safely, and then verifying it yourself. So sometimes if you got that student that's going low left, and it's constant low left, it's probably not the gun, right?
Right.
But it does two things. It goes, "Yep, your gun is off. Wow, okay, this is a mechanical issue. Let's fix it." Or it's, "Nope, not the gun. That's you." And
right.
In a tasteful way. It's not like we're bashing them or anything like that, but it just helps give them some encouragement of, okay, maybe it is me. Maybe I'm doing something absolutely wrong. So it kind of helps with that. So yeah, man, that's nail on the head. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. And then another one was my two things from Kent was our first conversation was that Friday night gearing up for the training, and we were talking about defensive contest, defensive shooting, that sort of thing, and how to get your spouses or loved ones or family involved in knowing how and what to do. like I don't know, just getting them engaged, right? And he had just said, well, who made you understand the mindset? You know, think about that. It's like sometimes you can't teach a student for whatever reason, whether they're family members or you just don't connect with them, but maybe your AI does, maybe your maybe your RO does, you know? So get them involved and let them take a crack at it. And maybe they respond very well to them, you know? And that was kind of one thing that like opened my eyes a little bit. And then Scott and I have had the chance to put it in practice the last couple times we've taught. So that was just one thing that we did. And then the other thing from Kent was, let me see here. We measure the metric of time, not groups, you know? So it was, we want to put rounds on brown paper. That's what our goal is. And for the longest time, it was like, especially competition shooting, it's like, I want to go fast and I want to go really, I want to have tight groups, you know? I want to have the double taps, which are not double taps, but we can talk semantics all day long. But, you know, measure the time aspect of it. And if you can get that down, you can actually shrink your groups down a little bit better too, because your body mechanics and just the way you're pulling the trigger and just the whole, the way the whole package comes together, you know, starts to round out.
I'm really glad you mentioned that. I think Kent did a really good job as far as like isolating skill sets. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about groups, precision, if you're talking about accuracy, if you're talking about speed, or looking cool. It really, right. I mean, whatever it is you're focusing on, isolate that skill set and really try to build off of that. Don't just say, all right, so I'm going to John Wick the crap out of this exercise and expect to just be able to get, you know, all kinds of results, because you're not going to get anything.
Right.
You know, if you're working on the more basic skills and that sort of thing, press trigger, don't disrupt sights, that's exactly what you should be doing. You know, it's until you start stacking those skill sets on top of each other that you really start to fall apart. The only way to really combine them effectively is to isolate them and put them together in little pieces along the way.
Chunk it together.
And chunk it together. And I think he did a really good job at that. At first, I was really surprised because he was like, "No, we're going sub-second draw. All I care about is you hit this silhouette." And I'm like, "Bro, I don't know about this." But no, he was absolutely right. I mean, just focus on speed. If we're going to focus on something, let's all just do it together. We're going to focus on speed here, right? And then afterwards, we'll start bringing this down and seeing if we can't get this tighter groups.
See, and something that I found out by doing that is you don't really plateau. You know, you hear a lot of guys will say that, you know, I'm plateaued. I'm kind of stuck in a rut. I'm kind of stuck in doing the same thing. But by mixing it up that way, by focusing on speed and then focusing on, you know, the accuracy or the marksmanship, they kind of chase each other. They kind of do this number here. So it's constantly like, you know, that was something, I don't know, about a year and a half, 2 years ago that you know, Tim, I discovered, you know, through Tim and training with others. And I honestly felt like I was at a plateau. And then I learned about this and started applying this, and man, that's made a world of difference for me with my personal shooting ability, my personal, you know, training. So I mean, that's absolutely something that, you know, a little nugget that, you know, yeah, it just again he very naturally weaved into the class, and it worked out very well. So yeah, that was awesome. So whether he intended to or not, I mean, it worked out. It worked out very well. So hey, so what's give us some criticisms. What's something he could do better next time, or Justin could do better? What's, you know, is there anything out there that stood out to you? Anything that they might be able to?
Yeah. One of the things is, I mean, everybody's hit it. It's like maintain yourself. You know, make sure you can go to that next class, right? The other thing is that welcome to Walmart drill. I really love the drill for a couple reasons. Number one, my competition, or I'm a background competition shooter. I've been doing it for roughly 10ish years or more, and that's just where I started from. So that really spoke to me, and I wanted to go fast. And I did, and I cleared the stage fantastic, except for the very end, Right. And one thing that I guess one criticism would be, when you're shooting at no shoots all day long, and there's a special way that he does his no shoots, and I like it. And then you see, the stage, the way it's designed with the no shoots involved, it's kind of like, maybe just say, if you see a gun, it's a bad guy, period, during this stage. Because there is no context of, is the no shoot an armed citizen or this or that, type of thing.
Man,
and I'm trying to be kind of vague,
right?
Because I don't want to give away the whole course and everything. But I liked it. I just a little more like context type of thing.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I mean, I know for a fact that was intentional. I know he intentionally left it vague.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, man. That's it was to force you to think, force you to make a decision for yourself. Whether regardless of repercussions, whether you did or didn't or whatever. I mean, you making that decision and you putting that decision in your hands, man. That's powerful. That's some powerful stuff. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I change anything on that, but still, I mean, that was thought provoking. It really.
It was very thought provoking. Absolutely, but it does. It's like, holy crap,
Yeah.
But to tie into that whole welcome to Walmart shoot, I think it was you, Tim, that had the little nugget of wisdom. It's like, you're not taking the stage as a thing. Right. You're taking the
each individual problem,
each individual target. Like, this is a problem. This one's a problem. This one's a problem. And it's like, it kind of like that IDPA or ICOR, whatever the heck the other competitions are. But it's kind of like, just focus on that problem, then go to the next. You just have to do it really, really fast in 15 seconds for most of the USPSA stages.
Making skills.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep, exactly. And the way he focused in on that at the very end and tied it all together was really nice. But then the other thing is the time slowed down very, very far on day 2 at the end after lunch.
Right.
But other than that, I love the class. I'd recommend it to anybody. And you guys are fantastic hosts. I mean, I had never met you guys, and you guys welcomed everything with freaking open arms, man, and families and everybody was just fantastic. Couldn't have asked for anybody better.
Yeah, man. Likewise. I mean, I know you were part of the Gunset crew that came down, man. You guys were fantastic, students and just friends, and our Apache family and the Gunset family, and the Green Mountain Defense family definitely grew over the weekend. I mean, that's
absolutely.
We met some fantastic guys, all around and gals, and it really did well. It really, really grew. So, no, I can't say enough about the camaraderie and just the level of just proficiency and talent and studiousness of each individual person was just off the charts. Like it was just a really well focused, really well engineered class. Really, it was can't say enough about it good wise, but I mean it was a good class. It worked out fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, man,
absolutely.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. We got some more guys that's going to come on up here shortly after you. Thank you for coming and stopping by, talking with us. Man, we really, really, really appreciate it. So, man, again, Sean, stay safe, and we'll catch you soon.
You too. Be safe. Yes, sir.
All right.
Be safe.
See you, guy.
Take care, man.
See you, bud. Bye.
All right. Fantastic.
So I seen him on the webinar Citizen Safety Academy did their 3-part instructor webinar type thing, and it was by the way, freaking awesome.
Yeah.
There was a lot of great information. Tiffany and Akil are absolutely brilliant.
Wealth of knowledge.
And there's a ton of stuff that they offer that's like you just don't see, it's just not being given in the training community right now.
Right.
And it's definitely needed. Anyhow, I saw his name pop up in the live chat or the live feed thing and the webinar. I was like, oh man, I know that guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It was cool to interact with him and hang out. And
He's definitely our Zach. He's the Zach of Gunset for sure.
most
So.
definitely. They definitely have the ADHD.
Oh yeah.
for sure.
The parallels between them were just off the charts. I mean, that was kind of neat to be able to get together and see that and talk a little bit about that and whatnot.
Sure.
So for sure. All right. So I think it's time. We need to check in on Steve, right?
Yeah.
So let's see how Steve's doing. Steve, what you doing over there? Ah, shut up, Steve. There we go. Perfect. Good job.
I needed that.
Had to release some aggravation. Steve's just talking way too much, making too much racket over there. Just needs to calm it down a little bit. All right. So I started to pick on Justin earlier, and I was like, here's some criticisms. Then I gave him nothing but accolades. Like I didn't actually criticize him. I think the one thing that he could probably do a little bit better, something that it seemed that he had struggled with, was the transition between the data recording. So it was evident that he wasn't comfortable with the tablet and recording the data himself. He kept having to go back to Kent and like, how do I do this? And so I definitely think that they could just take 20-30 minutes, sit down and really hash out those details of how does this thing work. So right now, if I were to give you this, you'd be like, what do I do with my hand? So I mean, being able to proactively go through and proactively look at tech equipment or whatever it is, look at this piece of the pie, this thing that I'm helping you with, make sure that I'm solid on it, it goes well. And that's for anybody. If you handed this off a section of a class to somebody, you want to make sure that they got it nailed down to make your life easier, not so much, so that's one less thing that you have to focus on. So instead of having to do that divided attention back and forth kind of thing. So that's something that, as far as Justin goes, that's something that I would.
That'll most definitely come with experience.
Oh,
man.
absolutely, for sure. Yeah, I'm not beating him up, but that is, if I could nitpick something, that's what I'd be. All right, it sounds like we got no. Dang it, Sean!
Don't ever do that. So far, everybody has called.
Everybody has done the call back. Man, we're gonna have to.
Is this a joke?
Yeah, it probably is. They're probably messing with us right now. Like we decided to screw with Sling'N podcast, and now they're turning it back on us. Like, oh, we'll just interrupt them and pick on them.
TJ's.
Oh, who we got? We got somebody that's coming on now. Let's see.
Oh no!
Do we have somebody? Uh oh!
No!
Who do we got? We got Senior Zach. Zach, how are you doing, my man?
And he's froze.
And he's froze.
Oh, Zach.
There goes Zach.
Oh, why does it look like? Where
Can you
are
hear me?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we can hear you. How are you?
Please tell me you're gonna put that up on the screen. That's great.
Let's see what.
Put that.
Throw him up. There we go. Perfect. Zach is froze.
That's our Zach.
Zach, your internet is garbage, bro.
Hey. So he's in and out like every 2-3 seconds.
He's like, Zach, I don't think this is gonna work out, buddy. Oh, wait a minute, maybe. Can you hear us now?
No. No, this ain't gonna work.
Oh.
It would be Zach too. Dang, guys.
All right, Joel Trey. Go ahead, get rid of him. Kick him off. Oh wait, are you back now? Are we gonna keep doing this?
He's like, what do you mean kick me out?
Yeah,
This is priceless.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to do this.
I think it's my computer.
Oh, there he goes. You came back for half a second.
It says he thinks it's his computer.
And he's gone. All right. Yep. Joel Trey, nix him. We're gonna move on from Zach, and we'll have to revisit that another time. We'll just have to see if that'll work.
Yeah.
Actually, let me make a quick last minute decision. We'll see if we can't get a hold of somebody else real quick. So Tim, I know we've been really going back and forth and talking about a bunch of different things and talking about how the class went. I feel like we have a pretty good pulse on Green Mountain Defense and Kent.
Sure.
I would consider us friends. For
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
going back and forth. What would be if there's somebody that was out there, there's somebody that was looking to, especially up in the Pennsylvania area, that was looking to do something more to better themselves as far as pistol craft or for sport or for self-defense or whatever it may be. What do you think? What can you say about Green Mountain Defense that would help encourage somebody to go and take a class from him?
Well, I mean, he's honestly a professional in the community for sure, and to be a professional, one of the things I think that defines you as that is if you have the ability to meet somebody where they are.
Right.
And if I know for a fact, I know because I've sent pretty well family and I've sent very close friends. We've sent students to Kent as far as like one-on-one training. We've sent him up there to take his classes and that sort of thing. And we're talking about from all walks of life. We're talking about folks that are brand new to shooting, and folks that have some serious bad habits, and we have folks that have been in the training community for a minute and have some experience. And he's been able to effectively meet all of them where they're at.
Right.
So he's basically picking up where they've left off, or starting them out from scratch. And he's produced some seriously good results.
Oh yeah.
So I'd say that if no matter what your experience is, if you can get in with a private session, private training, honestly, and that's our bread and butter here.
Right.
I mean, that's really where you're going to gain the most. Anytime you have a professional's attention for a period of time, you're going to gain the most out of it.
Who we got? We got somebody up.
Is it Zach again? Is he going to be doing
It's
the robot?
Zach again. Let's
I'm
see.
back.
He's doing the robot. You doing the robot?
There we go. You're back.
Cool.
Camera.
What's
Am I
happening,
here?
dude?
You're here. We can hear you. All right, man. So you're having some computer problems, obviously.
Obviously.
So I'm glad you got those fixed. I'm glad you're able to hop back on and join us. So Zach, you're one of our own. We figured it was only appropriate for you to follow after Sean, considering you guys are practically identical. Yeah. You're missing the whole
Brothers.
awesome mustache, but I think that's something that you can work on.
2022, homie. 2022. I want to see that
Bob
mustache.
was asking about mustache rides.
Yeah. Well, come on now. We want to keep it relatively-ish kind of clean.
Yeah, I hear you.
Awesome. All right, Zach. So
Hey, fellas.
the same kind of drill as we've done.
This has
with...
been awesome, by the way.
Oh. I'm glad. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. So same kind of drills we've done for the other guys. Tell us the highlights of the class. Tell us what you really enjoyed. Give us more of the what can they do better next time. I mean, just give us your 1,000-foot view. How do you think the class went? What do you got for us?
Class was great. It was one of those that I had done self-defense my whole life, in my whole career of 2 years, of maybe year and a half of training and all that stuff. It changed when I started taking a couple other classes, just wanted to do some competitive stuff like that, and started getting with Kent and all that thing. But it changed when, it's hard to explain. It was one of those that it blended performance, competitive shooting, and self-defense, and all three combined all together. And for me, it was one of those that it clicked. It was eye-opening for me. It was one of those that it's hard to explain, man. It it reiterated a lot of things I have learned and trained through Apache. But it basically, I had the permission, I don't know how to say that, to let loose. And my head was part of the problem. I limited myself. I stopped myself from breaking loose, letting loose. And it was a part of the process. And Tim, Frank, Trey, everybody at Apache, Landon has, Doc, everybody at Apache has been a part of the process of me breaking loose. And when I broke loose, I did things I didn't know I was capable of. And it was cool. I really enjoyed it. For me, I learned a lot in a different realm. Not about blending the two, because I always wanted to. But for me, it was how to turn a switch on and off.
Right.
How to decipher between self-defense and performance, and also combine the two.
Right. So
yeah.
Why don't you give the viewers just a touch of your background, like who all have you trained with? Like what's to compare Kent's class to, you know, some of the other instructors that you've had the opportunity to train under and that sort of thing. It sounds like this was a real turning point for you, man. That kind of identified some stuff about your decision making and your own skill sets, your own capabilities, and your limitations and that sort of thing. But give us a little our viewers a little bit of a background on who you're comparing this to, right?
Okay, so I've trained with Tim for most of the beginning, and I wouldn't train with anyone else for self-defense. Am I lagging?
No, you're good.
No, you're good.
Thanks, Zach.
I think my video's lagging.
Yeah,
might.
Just a little bit. Yeah, we can. Your audio's good. Your video's garbage, but it's okay. Please continue.
I don't know what's happening. I need you, Frank. I need your help, bro.
I can't fix that.
Okay.
That's beyond my control.
Yeah, I know. Well, you probably can. But I'm also in a single core room right now. I probably should open that door, and I might gain some speed. Maybe.
He wants us to fix this
We'll
internet.
see.
We've hijacked
Hang
a
on.
freaking podcast, dude. What else do you want?
We can only do so
I
much
know.
in such amount of time.
Okay. So, no, I trained from basically Tim and Frank. And Tim and Frank taught me everything basically I know. And I learned so much. And I desired more and more and more. It was one of those that then I had a turning point when I went to Kent's. And we had the first AVD with Phil. And we stood out in Kent's backyard. And that was a changing point for me.
Yeah, man.
Because he said things the same way you did at Tim and Frank, but in a different way.
Right.
And it clicked for me. And that's the beauty of instruction. It's how you teach and how you say things to certain people. But it was one of those that I continued my training and kept going. And then this class, I've trained under Range Master, Tom Givens, all self-defense. There's so much I've done over the past.
With, Tim Herron.
Tim Herron,
Yeah, Tim Herron. Tim Herron started the process of me being like, little performance. I wanted to get into USPSA, and it was one of those where I was like, oh, wait, I might blend the two. And then Kent did his class of blending the two, performance, competition, and self-defense. And it was like, oh yeah, I like this. And it worked for me. I'm ADD, ADHD off the charts. Y'all know this. But it worked for me. And the faster I go, the better I do. The slower I go, the worse I do. Which you know.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
But this class was a turning point for me in another realm. I've had probably 3 or 4 turning points in the past 2 years. This was another one of them. And I really want Kent to know that. This was a phenomenal class, Kent. I know he's watching. And you were very encouraging. A little over the top with me, which I appreciate. But I needed that. And I appreciate you, Kent. And I appreciate all you did. And Justin, you're sexy, bro.
What a degenerate. Just, you know, this is supposed to be a family-friendly show.
Can't have nothing.
This is hey, family, bro. Justin's family.
So I'm
I can say
convinced
my
that
brothers.
what's happening
Sex.
right now is he's seeing himself talk.
Oh yeah.
And it's just overwhelming for his ADHD.
Oh yeah, it's like,
Just like-
No, I don't see myself talk at all. All I see is you guys.
he's flipping out. It's the power is going straight to his head.
No, it's really cool, man. I loved it. It was awesome. Great class.
Right. Awesome. Well, man, I really appreciate it. Now I really appreciate you hopping on here and talking with us. We're gonna cut out, and man, for sure we'll see you next time.
Be good, man.
Thank you, Zach. See you soon. Well, man, I think we're getting pretty on close to rounding this thing off. I think this has been fun. I think we're gonna have to hand this back off to Kent and TJ here before too long.
Okay.
I'm sure
They've been waiting for a while.
I'm sure their wheels are spinning if they've even noticed at all. So we'll see how that all turns out. Before we hand it back off to them or throw everything back their way, let's do some shout outs. Let's something that they do, or the t-shirt charities and stuff like that.
Yep.
So why don't we pick one? Why don't we go through that? So what do you think? What should the charity be for t-shirt sales?
I'm pretty certain we should do Save Our Allies. Help our
Save Our
boys
Allies?
out. Going over to Afghanistan and helping some folks out.
There you go. Point at the banner up above.
So this one right here.
Yeah, Save Our Allies. So it's saveourallies.org. Please go out and check those out. We'll reach out and we'll try and get throw this on the little doobly-doo underneath the description or something like that. We'll figure that out. Just one more thing I gotta do. We'll see. We'll figure that out.
Guys, check them out. Seriously, you can hit them up. They could use anything right now. Like you could send them diapers. You can send them.
Tell us a little bit about Save Our Allies. What are they? What are they about? What do they do?
So I learned about Save Your Allies through Tim Kennedy. He posted a video up on InstaFace a while back, and honestly, there's a ton of different groups out and organizations out there. But long and short of it is, what's happened in Afghanistan right now is honestly it's a freaking mess.
Right.
It's an absolute disaster. So and there's a lot of our allies, a lot of good people over there that really need our attention, really need our help, and there's a lot of really good people out there that are taking some risk and taking some plunges and going over there and just doing it themselves. They're finishing what I'm not going to get political, but
right.
they're trying to make a difference. And Save Our Allies, I know could use some of the basic amenities. If you're willing to send some diapers, if you're willing to send some underwear, some just soap, all kinds of just basic stuff. If you can't give and buy a T-shirt from the Spring Tea thing, if you can't do any of that, man, it don't take much. Go to your local grocery store while you're going to buy bread and milk, and throw in a thing of diapers and run them to the postal service to send it to them. Right. Help some folks out, man. these guys are really working diligently to make some of this stuff right. So
Yeah, for sure.
help them out.
Going along that, it's the way that the Sling'N Led podcast normally does that is by all means, please donate directly to them. But proceeds from T-shirt sales also go to that. So if we take a look at our absolutely gorgeous Steve, come on, Steve, you got to make another appearance. Steve is wearing the Apache Takeover Sling'N Led podcast T-shirt. That is a one-of-a-kind T-shirt that we had specially made up, specially designed. It's the Apache. You can't really see it too well on the screen, but it's the Apache Solutions logo riding on top of a bunch of Indians where the gun set and Green Mountain Defense wagons are circled. So it's like we're surrounding the gun set and Green Mountain Defense guys. That's, again, fun T-shirt. Has, the Sling'N Led podcast on the front and back and all that fun stuff. So, definitely check that out. Hop on Teespring. The link for that is in the description, and we can go from there. Like I said, we had some time to go over this, between COVID and all this mess. So I think we did it right. Outside of that, we want to go ahead and check out the sponsors for the show tonight. Definitely Green Mountain Defense. We obviously talked him up. Kent, Howard, Justin. Those guys are just absolutely phenomenal. Please reach out to him, greenmountaindefense.com. His resources page is absolutely phenomenal. All kinds of reading that's on there, suggested websites, gear, the whole 9 yards that's on there. It's an absolute wealth of knowledge. It's just a treasure trove of knowledge. He has a Amazon account code that's on there. He's got Primary Arms. There's a bunch of different discounts and stuff that you can get through his website. So please hop over there, check that out. By all means, reach out to Kent, especially if you're in that area. Something that's phenomenal about Kent is he hosts a lot throughout the year.
Yeah.
So all kinds of top-notch instructors: Tim Herron, Scott Jedi Jelinski, Phil Groth, Vigor Training. I mean, he has an awesome group of guys that regularly go through his area and regularly go train. So by any means, if you can, reach out, go take a class with those guys. You will not be disappointed. I'm sure of it.
And if you're a host, from my standpoint, from our standpoint, hosting him down here, that's one of the guys you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. I mean, he's a great instructor and teaches a great class. We've said enough about that, but he's a great guy to have around, and most definitely will turn some heads and change some gears for you for sure.
Yeah. Going on this gun set, we had those guys that came up, and they came and took the class with Kent. Phenomenal set of instructors, phenomenal set of guys just in general. Several of the Apache guys, we've taken trips up there to Ohio and vice versa. They've come down here with us. Fantastic guys. I mean, their heads are definitely screwed on right, with exception of maybe one or two. But generally speaking, those
we
guys.
Could say the same.
Yeah, right. Like I said, phenomenal guys. Very well put together content. I mean, Mike Kinsey and just the way that he views the American Rifleman.
If you're not signed up for the two-day tactical rifle fundamentals class that they're doing on November 13th and 14th,
Yep.
You're seriously missing out. Even if it were just to hear Mike Kinsey's spiel on the reason why you as an American need to know your way around a rifle. And this is coming from me. And those of you that know me and know my standpoint on that, on prioritizing practicality, I haven't had a good reason up until I met these guys.
Yeah,
and
sure.
and they really drive the point home, man. And you'll seriously be missing out if you don't get involved in this class.
Yeah, for sure. Please go see them. Outside of that, man, the Sling'N Led podcast. Trey, you want to pull that one back up? We obviously came and stole the show tonight. We're not sorry about it. It's probably going to happen again. But, we really appreciate those guys. Really appreciate, Kent and TJ, all their hard work. And, we kind of sort of voluntold that, said that we were doing this and they didn't have a decision in it. And it just all kind of worked out. So, again, we appreciate you guys putting up with our shenanigans and be able to get on here and talk a little bit, goof off just a little bit. So I think that went really well. Tim, to wrap things up, let's hit on Apache just a minute,
Sure.
and then we'll push it on back to Kent and TJ.
Sounds good. All right, so we have coming up soon the next Next big course, we had just our recoil management workshop last Friday. We've got Phil Groff of Vigor Training coming down to teach his armed home defense course. This is a 2-day, all-inclusive course. And any of you that have ever taken any type of force-on-force training will know that this is the type of stuff that I guess really really is a true measurement for your success. And Phil has a very fine way of introducing you to the subject matter. So I'm really looking forward to having him come down. He's coming down October 10th and 11th, I believe it is.
That sounds right.
It's on the calendar. I'm sure Trey Joel can put a link on there somewhere. Let's see, after that, in November, that's when we have Gunset coming in. But the weekend before that, we have John Murphy from FPF Training coming down teaching his concealed carry street encounter skills. Yep. He's coming in, again, another one of those courses that, look it up on the interweb. Everybody keeps saying this is a class that you want to say you have under your belt. Right. It covers a great deal of stuff. And honestly, him and Phil are probably the only two that I'm aware of that I've seen or taken classes from that teach a 2-day class, and it's only 250 rounds. Right. All right. Because he covers a great deal in trauma. He covers a great and medical aid, that sort of thing, and verbal commands, using pepper spray. The whole law of self-defense, man, he really breaks this stuff down.
If nothing else, if you haven't been on the receiving end of one of John Murphy's, verbal commands or lectures, you're missing out. You definitely need to go ahead and get that little checkbox clicked off, because it is, again, whether you take it with it or not, that is he is a trip. He's such a good order and such a good instructor. Just fantastic all around. Yeah,
he's definitely one of a kind for sure. So we got him coming in November 6th and 7th. The following weekend is Gunset's Tactical Carbine Fundamentals. Yep. And then December, Phil Groff's coming back down again to do, I think we're just going to start doing this an annual thing.
Oh,
when I talked to Phil a while back, he's just like, we just need to do this every year, man. Yeah. Every year in December, we're going to get together and we're going to do an armed vehicle defense course.
For sure.
Come out here, trash a whole bunch of cars, and learn a lot of really cool stuff. So if you've never been involved in the whole fighting in and around vehicles, or even if you have and haven't taken it from Vigor, you most definitely want to take this class. It's
and even then, that class is an awesome introduction to force on force. If you haven't done any kind of force on force training, it really works out well as far as that. I feel that is a very safe and very organized course to make that introduction.
Bar none, man. And not to talk the course up even more. I know we got to go, but I've done a lot of force on force training in my time in the military and that sort of thing. I've never seen such a clean and safe transition from live fire to force on force. Yeah, I've never seen it. He absolutely leaves no single point of failure. Right. So most definitely a great class to take.
Well, to wrap things up, we couldn't have pulled all this off without our awesome cameraman, Joel Trey, that's sitting back there. He was able to organize, some of the cameras, some of the lighting, some of the gear. It looks awesome because of the awesome job that he did. So please check him out. It's Landon says it best, but it's going to be snapshotswithaz.com minus the M. So snapshots.co. So go reach out, hit him up on Instagram, InstaFace, Facebook, whatever. All the social media stuff. Same thing with Apache. Hit us up, and we'd love for you to come out and take a class with us, and we'll definitely go from there. So I think with that, ready to say get out of here?
I'm ready.
Let's get out of here. Goodbye. See ya.
See ya.
From here is my responsibilities, right? Just looking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, great show, Kent. Great conversation. I'm so glad we got to vent those frustrations and come to a reasonable solution. Folks, that's all the time we have here for this week. Until we see each other again, God bless you all. Take care of each other. Get out and shoot.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.